Addict. Addict, I spot an addict. Daggerheart, you're addicted. You can't stop releasing content. You can't stop making me go outside in 90-degree weather to make videos about the new content you're releasing. But who am I to complain, right? We're all happy to get some more Daggerheart stuff to play with, right? And this time we're talking about transformations. Last month, we covered all the other ancestries and classes and spells and all that stuff that they were releasing, but this time, strictly transformations. So it'll probably be a shorter video. Now, transformations are cool. We're talking about everyone's favorite things to play. Werewolves, vampires, ghosts, demigods, all of that fun stuff. So we're gonna go over that, and we're gonna talk about the cards. We're gonna read through them, how they work, what I like, what I don't like about it. But Rich, shut up and get to the cards. Aye, aye. All right, so first off, we're talking vampires, everyone's favorite bloodsuckers. Vampires are the undead, fanged creatures that drink the blood of the living. Let's get into it. Dimension door. The vampires have two features. Fangs. Make a strength roll to bite a target within melee range, dealing D8 physical damage using your proficiency. And the second one being feed. On a successful Fangs attack against a living creature, you can mark a stress to feed. Place a number of tokens on this card equal to the number of hit points your target marks. You can hold up to 5 tokens at a time. Spend a token before an action roll to make your fear die a d20 instead. When you take a long rest, remove a token. If there are no tokens on this card, all your action and reaction rolls are made with disadvantage. Okay, so this sounds interesting. It sounds like playing as a vampire, right, is going to change the way your entire character works, in a sense. Because if you don't play by the rules, the downside makes you roll a disadvantage. So you almost have to suck the blood of living beings to be a optimized character, pretty much. But I also really enjoy the flavor of making your vampire powerful, right? But make them also contribute to a fear kind of economy. Because yes, you are getting this power, right? You are making your rolls stronger with adding a d20 to it. But in turn, you are going to be rolling with fear more, giving your GM more fear tokens. And there are so many flavor implications you can use this for, you know? The vampire seems pretty juicy, but let's move on to the werewolf. All right, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like you don't know what a werewolf is. A werewolf is a creature who turns into a supernatural wolf. Cue dimension door. The first werewolf feature is wolf form. When you mark 1 or more hit points, you can also mark a stress to enter your wolf form. While in this form, gain a d10 wolf die that you add to all attack and damage rolls. When you would gain a hope while in wolf form, you mark a stress instead. And the second feature is frenzy. When you mark your last stress while in wolf form, you go into a frenzy. Roll a number of d20s equal to your tier and automatically deal that much physical damage to all creatures within very close range. Then drop out of wolf form. Okay, that's awesome. Werewolf so far is my favorite. I love the way it's a choice. The vampire seemed like you almost had to play with its features, but the werewolf seems like a choice. If things are going bad in combat and you get hit, you can choose to go into werewolf form and do more damage. But in turn, your friends better know to stay a little bit further away from you so you don't do damage to them when you come out of werewolf form. It adds flavor. I love werewolves. I was almost a werewolf in my Strahd campaign, and then a player cured me. But this is simple, effective, and thematic, and I enjoy it. Moving on. All right, the next topic of conversation is the Reanimated. Reanimated are creatures who have been brought back to life. Cue dimension door. The first Reanimated feature is Stitch Up. During a rest, you can only clear hit points if you have access to remains from a recently deceased creature. Describe how using this material affects your appearance. You cannot clear hit points by any means except a downtime move or the risk it all death move. And the second feature is corpse. When you risk it all on a death move, if you fail, you can permanently mark a hit point to succeed instead. When you do, you still use the hope die's value to clear hit points and stress. Wow. Okay, I did not expect this one to be that smart. It really doesn't affect your playstyle outside of flavor when you clear hit points and whatnot. That's fun, doesn't really make a difference. But the fact that risk it all becomes not so risky for you is genius, because that affects the entire way you will play. You will be a little bit riskier knowing, yeah, I can come back to life and just be a little bit weaker this time around. You're a cat with 9 lives. It's phenomenal. Like I said, it's thematic, it's simple, but it's effective. I like this one a lot. Moving on. The next one is Shapeshifters. Obviously, Shapeshifters are creatures that can change their physical form. Oh yeah, cue the door thing. Shapeshifters' first feature is change shape. Crazy. During a long rest, you can spend a downtime move to swap your current ancestry with another. When you do, describe how your appearance changes. And their second feature is only skin deep. When you change shape, you only gain the benefit of one of the ancestry's features, which you select when you choose the ancestry. You can spend a downtime move to switch which of your ancestry's feature you gain the benefit of. All right, so I gotta be honest about this one. I'm a little bit underwhelmed with this one. It seems like if you have a pretty, diverse party when it comes to ancestries, you might not need this ability because it takes a long time to get use out of. You have to spend a long rest, which you can't do all the time in Daggerheart, and you only get one of the ancestral abilities. I'm sure you'll only need the one, be picking the one you're getting. Let's say if you're doing an investigation in your game and you want to shapeshift into a fungal to gain the ability to, see their last moments before they died, I think that could be useful. But most of the time, I can't see this being more helpful than having a diverse group of players. It's interesting and it's okay. I just wish you were able to maybe spend 3 stress to do it on the fly. I think that would be a little bit more convenient. But maybe I'll play it and I'll give them some feedback. All right, the next ones we're talking about, are ghosts. Ghosts are spirits that are trapped between the mortal realm and the veil of death. Dimension door. Ghost's first feature is spirit form. Your physical form can shift between corporeal and incorporeal. Mark a stress to transition into and out of your spirit form. While in spirit form, you can move through solid objects and are immune to physical damage and take double magic damage. You can spend 2 hope to attack or physically interact with the material world. Their second feature is ephemeral. Cross out a hit point slot when you take this card and when you increase your tier. When you mark your last hit point, you must choose Blaze of Glory as your death move. I'm getting sweaty. Oh my God, it's hot out here. I'm so sorry. This is a big sweaty mess. This one seems underwhelming. That's okay. You can move through objects and, attack people and whatnot. And there's a nice trade-off to taking extra magical damage. I like that. So it's not like a, complete, impenetrable, overpowered feature. But the second feature is where I'm questioning it a little bit. I almost wish that there were more ways to mark down the hit points, right? If it goes by, every time you go up a tier, you lose a maximum hit point, you may not always get down to your last hit point. So I wish there were other ways of marking down hit points. I don't really have it off the dome, but not everyone's going to actually experience the second feature. So if they change that and tweak that in the final version, I think it'll be much better. But I do really enjoy the fact that when you mark them down, you have to go out in a blaze of glory. That's very ghost. It's very ghost coded. I like it. Moving on. Last but not least, we have demigods. Demigods are creatures whose veins are flowing with the blood of the gods. Cue Dimension Door. The demigod's first feature is Ichor of the Gods. Your advantage die is always a D10 instead of a D6. And their second feature is Weight of Divinity. When you roll a failure with fear, you must mark a stress or give the GM an additional fear. Okay, the Demigod, I don't know, it seems the least specific out of the 5 I've gone over already. It just seems like a way to be like a little bit luckier, maybe blessed by the gods, and your one die is a D10 instead of a D6. And you also, I don't know, I feel like the takeaway, the detractor from the Demigod is bigger than the bonus you get from it. So a little underwhelming, but overall, if we're talking about all 6 of these transformations, I love the fact that there is, you know, one bonus you get from it and one detractor you get from it. I think that's very intuitive. And obviously some seem a little bit more powerful than others, but that's the whole point of, you know, having a play test, right? People are supposed to play it, give feedback, and then they change it in the final release. And I hope when the final release comes out, I don't know, these come out all together in like a big book. I would like that. It'd be organized with all of these new things coming out in the void. I don't know how long it's going to be before, you know, they officially release this stuff, but we're going to find out. So overall, these transformations are a fun addition to the game, and I can't wait to play them with my party. I don't know, give some feedback on them. So check back soon. Hopefully Daggerheart releases more content. It seems like every month they're putting out something new, but subscribe, like the video, and check back for all the Daggerheart updates you can find.